Hi everyone, welcome to today's Moments live stream. Moments a no-code full stack web app development platform, and I'm Yao Kai, Moments CEO and founder. So today we will do something fancy with PDFs and stuff that's an application that's built in Moment. So before we go anywhere, I am going to show you what this thing can do. I'm just gonna open up this. I built this thing in the front end in Lovable. And let's see if we go to say we have a bunch of jobs that is coming from the database of Moment. So that's actually coming from here. And these are the stuff from Moment. And then that's showing up here. We can click into it. There's no candidates yet, but we can screen for resumes. And let's just pick data scientist, and we are going to upload these resumes. So these resumes are actually all fake, so don't worry, no personal information is being leaked here. And we have uploaded them. We're now going to analyze them. This will trigger an action flow here that says single resume review and save. So what it does is takes the job ID, which corresponds to data scientist here, and it will run an AI called resume screening, passing in the job ID and the PDF itself, and then it's going to insert the result into our resume table. So the result for data scientist is actually, it would be nice if we had like a display of what data scientist requires in here, but that's that. Rosa Maria Aguiaro apparently is a poor fit for our job. So what does she have? She knows illustration and sketching. Obviously, that's not a good fit for a data scientist. Mark Smith is good at accounting. Samira is good at mechanical engineering. So that's unfortunate. But we might upload some other. So we have to choose this, and then we have a bug. And that's as expected. We're going to re-click on this and then choose that. Select something else. We're going to do Fernando and Sebastian and something. This one actually says data scientist, so I'm guessing it's gonna end up as a good fit. I'm gonna analyze this, and we should get some scores. By the way, if you don't have detailed rubrics written, like what we don't have here, using AI to give a score to your candidates is a horrible practice because AI is really bad at assessing. Like it's similar to humans. We're pretty bad to give us just a subjective score. We're much better when we have rubrics to go along with. So in here, Francisco Mercado knows SQL, so that's actually pretty good. And this thing says it's like 30% of a fit, but if I were to give a score, it would be a much better fit. This guy is SQL and does stats and works as a. Okay, so this is a much better fit, 95% fit. Okay, maybe, right? But still, if you were to do this properly, make sure you give give AI detailed rubrics like how much scored to allocate, how many points to allocate to on each part of their resume, and then maybe you just do like a simple summation, or maybe you have some complex formula, and then yeah, do it that way. Here, what I'm doing is just illustrate what we can do. Now, the limitations of this is that we can only upload at most 1,000 pages of PDF in one go. And how much would that cost you? Well, depending on what models you use, but if you used in here, for example, I think we're using Flash because it's much, yeah. Flash is fairly cheap. It's 50 cents per million tokens. Each page of PDF is 285 or 265 tokens. So you're looking at like 200,000 tokens, which is 1/4 of 50 cents, like 15 cents. So if you did upload 1,000 pages of PDF, it's going to cost you 15 cents, which is very reasonable, I think. And if you were to go for some fancier model, well, in this case, there's only one choice. You can go fancier than Flash. Gemini 3 Flash will be Gemini Pro, 3 Pro, and then we have a UI bug here. Gemini 3 Pro, I think, is about 5 times more expensive. So you're looking at less than $1 for analyzing 1,000 pages. So it's still very affordable. Obviously, in Momen at the moment, no pun intended, we are running a crazy promotion where Gemini, all the Gemini models, including the 3s, the images, and the 2.5s, is 99% off. So basically it's like free. Consider that free, so do whatever you want to do with it, okay? So, this is the stuff that we built in Lovable. Now, let's take a look at how this thing is actually built. In Momen, we have no front end. And we have some database, like there's a thing for jobs, and then there's thing for resume. And since we're not doing signups, then like if this thing is completely internal, then you probably don't need any authentication. But this is because I'm lazy. We have a single action flow. We have a single agent. So in fact, you can do this on a free plan, and that's what we're gonna do. Okay, and in here it kind of only used the context, which is used to fetch the description of the job, and then we're using the PDF itself. No tools being used here. As I said, if you were to do this properly, you should give AI a tool to do the calculation of each score. So you give it a score, and then the tool would like accumulate these scores for you, or do some like arithmetic with those scores. And then we have a bunch of structured outputs that is going to correspond exactly with resume. So that's an exact match. Okay. And that's it. And on Lovable, we built it the way we usually do. We basically said like, do nothing, and then we give it the knowledge, and then we just kind of run it. Okay, so given that, let's build this entire thing from scratch, and hopefully we can do this within almost no time. So we call this the PDF thingy. A PDF thingy is going to be free, and you'll be able to do it on the free plan because you will get a single action flow, you'll get a single agent. So first of all, let's try to create the actual database, right? So reason we want to do that, actually we'll do it with AI because I'm lazy. And how I would pass things in, well, I just need to, let's see, I need to pass in like the headers of the file, the hiring file, which you can't see yet, but you will be able to soon once I copy and paste the headers into here. Okay, so build a table job opening, we call it job opening, that can store these fields. And I'm just going to paste it in here, right? So it may look very chaotic, but it's actually not too bad because it is actually a CSV. The AI is reasonably good at picking out those things because you can see these are TSV. That's a tab. Yeah, job title, experience required. Ta-da! Not too bad. I'm gonna create that, and this thing is now going to create this job opening here. And the next thing we want to do is we would like to. Can I cheat? Let me think about it. I think I would cheat because it's so much easier. Recent. Yes. What am I gonna do is I am just going to download this and yeah, so that it's easy for me to export. I meant export. I want to export a CSV. I want to export the resume, and I don't really want to export the job. And I think that's it. Okay, we're just going to export that. Should take almost no time. In fact, it is now done. So we're going to open it up. I'm going to copy it, which you can't see off the screen, but it's going to be fairly simple. I'm just going to copy 3 rows, and I'm going to close this up. In here, I said create another table. We call it resume. Contents looks like this. Okay, and then I just paste the whole thing in. And this is plenty good for the AI to create the fields. So I don't have to do it myself. I mean, I could do it myself. It's not horribly difficult. But let's take a look. Everything seems to work. Okay, we'll just submit that. Now we will have our tables. Obviously, we need to tie job opening to the resume itself. So what we'll do is we'll add a. Oh, it has kindly added the resume form, the relationship for me, and that's actually correct. Okay, I won't complain here then. It has created a job opening relation to the job opening, and the job opening has the resumes relationship here. And the last thing we need to add is the actual file, because resume file. Let's call it resume PDF. Why not? I'll create that. And then one thing we want to limit is I don't want the same exact PDF to exist for a single job opening twice, right? So if you use the same PDF, same resume, and upload it twice, it should count as a single submission. So the way we do that is by creating a constraint, and we'll add a constraint we call it unique a resume file job end file. Okay. And the fields will create, we'll select the resume PDF and then the foreign key to the job opening. Select accept, and we can synchronize it. Okay, so we have now created our data model. So it'd be nice if we could import all that data from our table. And I don't know if I'm going to run into a bug because we do have a bug when it comes to uploading to a freshly constructed data model. It might still be there, so we'll see. Actually, no, that's not at all. Okay, key skills. if these names match exactly, that would get mapped automatically. Otherwise you have to like select it manually, right? So we'll just import that. Should be fairly easy. Okay, now we have all the data. All we need to do is just refresh. We have all the data here. None of them has any resumes associated with it, which makes sense because obviously we haven't uploaded anything yet. This is a completely new project. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we want to create the AI agent. So we'll do job ID. That way we can fetch the correct job. And then we have the resume PDF. And then you just select file. At the moment, there is no way for Momen to, you can't like distinguish between different files, which is a pain in the ass, but such is life. And we are going to enter the role of the AI agent. In this case, it will be very simple because I have cheated and copied the prompts, but we can go through it. You can look at it. An AI assistant responsible for determining whether a candidate's resume is suitable for a specific open job position. Okay. And the goals will make it the life easier for AI. Let's take a look. Understand the job requirements retrieved from the database, which we don't have yet. We will configure that later, including job responsibility, core skills, experience, and education requirements. Okay. Analyze the candidate's skills, work experience, and education extracted from the PDF resume. Okay. And based on the job, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So, makes good sense to me. And lastly, we're going to paste in the constraints. So what we'll do is make determinations. Okay. Sure, I suppose. It's a weird translation, I think. Information explicit stated in job requirement and the resume. Do not infer, assume, fabricate any. Okay, this is trying to control hallucination, but you can never get rid of it. So such is life. The determination must be explicit and decisive. Okay, avoid, possibly, might, could. Okay, fine. I mean, you could do that. Now, how do we find this job requirement retrieved from the database? Well, we do that by going to the database. We use the job opening table. We're now going to ignore the created ad, update ad, or the system columns, because that's no use to the AI for determining whether the person is a good fit. And then we're going to get a single one. And we can do something fancier later, but for now, we're just going to stick with, we'll build a single one. And then the ID of the job opening is the same as the ID of whatever is input for the AI. Okay, so that's now done. And for now, let's just give it a try without any output structures, right? So let me take a look at what we have. Job openings. I think we will do clinical advisor, whatever that is. Actually, we'll do UX designer, 8. We'll do 8. That's an 8. And I'm going to upload a single file. See, I am going to upload Mark Smith, whoever Mark Smith is. It's all fabricated resume, so don't worry. Oh, and I forgot to synchronize. We have to synchronize the agent configuration. We call this, let's give it a name, call it resume analyzer. Resume analyzer. Okay, resume analyzer now has access to job 8 and Mark Smith PDF. By the way it works in Momen is that all the PDFs, all the files, all the images are attached to the end of the prompt in sequence. in the sequence that you give it, right? So if you did have 2 resume PDFs, you can tell them like the first one, compare the first one against the second one. In fact, we can do that and give it a try, right? And the name of the, in this case, the name of the input doesn't really matter. So we'll stick with that, and then we'll go Mark Smith and Samara, whatever. And maybe in here, we're just gonna say like, do the above for analyze, well, each candidates. Yeah. Then whether determine whether each candidate matches. Okay, so we'll refresh, and then this would actually look at both candidates. But if you want to go crazy, you could also do something like, instead of like each, we will do something like only look at the second file. Second PDF file, same thing, right? So you look at this. This is analyzing Mark Smith and then Samira Alcaraz, right? And then we're going to restart. This time it should only look at Samira. This second PDF, you can point there. Okay, it's looking at only the second one. It's not looking at Mark, right? So that is how you can instruct the AI to look at different files just by the sequence. You could say the first one, the second one, the third one, the last one, the second from the last one. You can do whatever that. Images, same thing. You can even ask AI to compare the candidates in those 2 files. Okay, so, but we are not going to do that. We're going to get rid of this, and then we're going to get rid of that. And all we need to do now is to give it structured output. Why do we want to do that? Well, because we want it to be persisted in the database. And we want to persist it in a structured format, which means that later in the user interface, they can be displayed nicely. So in here, let me try to cheat, by the way, because cheating is good. Cheating is good. Cheating is simple. Cheating is what I like. Let's see. Yes, okay. Cheating is good. So first of all, we need the applicant name. And that should be fairly obvious. So we don't need to add any explanation to the AI. Secondly, we want to do contact info. And that's also fairly obvious. And then we'll make market required, but if you're in a situation where you don't get the actual, you don't get the input, the input that you expect, then maybe you don't want to, always make it required. But for now, that will do. And let's say skills, and then we'll make it required too as well, and say like a comma separated list of skills possessed by the candidate or applicant. Applicant is good because we were using applicant name previously. And what else? Work experience. Again, we want to make it required, and we also want a comma separated list of works experiences possessed by the applicant. I mean, you could go into detail about it should contain the start and end time, job titles held, or whatever, but for now, this will do. And what else do we need? We need education. And we also want it to be comma separated. A comma separated list of past educations of the candidates, of the applicant. And yeah, so that's good. Maybe, you know, sometimes comma separated is a bit bad. Maybe we will change it to like semicolon separated. So that is up to you, because we're not doing anything structured. We're not doing anything programmatic with these things. So however you store it, as long as it makes sense to you as a human when you read it, it will make sense to the AI. And let's see. Education, role match explanation. And why is it named that way? Because that's what I named it in the database. So let's give it an explanation. Why or why not the applicant is a fit for the job opening. And let's put something more that was like risk review summary. I don't remember. Actually, okay, we'll just call it risk review summary. And then we'll make it required as well. Explicit risks the candidates, the applicant's background indicates regarding the job opening. And let's add, I think we have three more. Let's call it hiring suggestion label. That was what in the database. So anyway, let's make it simple. So we say no fit. Valid values are no fit. The reason I'm using all caps is that's just the convention that software engineering people usually do when it comes to constants. No fit. And then there's good fit. Okay, it's just binary. Maybe we should just make it like even Boolean, right? But that's what we have to work with, because I don't have, my database is created that way. Match score. This one will be a number. Actually, it will be an integer. And it will either be, we do 0 to 100. 0 is completely no fit. 100 is perfect fit. And lastly, we'll just do like match explanation. And then we'll say like why such score is given. Like this is probably going to be an overlap between this and like the role match explanation or like risk review summary or something like that. But it's no problem. AIs are cheap, so that's that. So we've now created this, and then let's try to run the AI and see what it outputs regarding, I think this is Mark Smith, and the job 8 being UX UI designer. Okay. So the AI is now working very hard to come up with a result. And you can see the number of AI points that has been consumed is barely budging. We went from 100,000 AI points for a free account down to like 170 down. So what we're looking at is 1,000. We're like use 1,000 of the allocated point per month. So it's plenty. Okay. This should show up. I don't know why this is not showing up, but let's take a look at the actual result. Assistant has a content, And let's take a look. That is very odd. Let's try it again. Oh, because this is not synchronized. Anytime you change the output, you have to synchronize this. Otherwise, the debug doesn't work. I'm trying to get this fixed, but it's proving more difficult than initially I thought. But let's just do that. Okay, it's now completed. Rerun it. And this time it shouldn't give us. Yeah, now we're good. We have skills. The guy has accounting, finance, communication, project management, Microsoft Office. Okay, that's some skill that you see fairly often. And it's a no fit. Good. Now let's change something to let me find one that is good at design, Yes. Rosario Maria Aguado. Our fake Rosario Maria Aguado. Sorry, Rosa? Okay, never mind. Is going to be a good fit, I think. It is going to be a good fit. Give it 15 seconds. Yeah, 10 seconds. And it says, no fit? Really? Oh, it's fashion design. That is correct. Oh. No. I'm sorry. That's unfortunate. We don't have a good fit for any of this. But that's that. Okay, so we have now created an AI agent which will produce all the fields that we want. Then how do we save it into the database? Because you don't want to just show the well, you could show that on the front end directly, but we do want to see a history of applicants. So that is what we are going to do, is persist all the decisions that the AI has made into the database, and then on the front end, we're going to use Lovable to just show the the history from the database. Okay, so we say like analyze and persist. And the input is going to be fairly simple. We have a job ID. It's just going to be piped in, so fairly simple. And then we have the resume, and that's going to be a file. And then in here, we are just going to call the AI, and then you can see this is now disabled. It says asynchronous mode required, so let's enable that. Asynchronous mode is there because AIs take really long, and then if you run this entire thing inside a transaction, then which is synchronous mode, then you will be exhausting the system capacity pretty soon. So that is what we try to avoid. Okay, so we bind it in, give it a name, analyzer, and I've spelled it wrong. Analyzer. Okay, and then we will save this thing into resume. And this is now the tedious part. You have to like do this. By the way, this will get so much easier if we had AI, because you know, it's brain dead enough, and yeah, so brain dead things is a good fit for both AI and oh shit, row match. Brain dead things are better for AI than for me. Risk review summary, hiring suggestion label, match score, and match explanation. And the job opening is going to be the same as the job ID, and the PDF, we're just going to upload the PDF. And on conflict, we have the unique resume job and file. That's the one we're just going to update. If we analyze the same resume twice, we are going to just update that, and then instead of ignoring the new result. So we call this insert persist. Okay, And you can, let's say let's do that. We call it resume ID, and then we're going to return the ID of the updated resume. So the persist ID. So that'll be the resume, and that's all we need to do for the moment part. And because I'm lazy, I want to do the construction in Lovable. So let's create a new. What? I have 13 credits left. This is making me very nervous. Okay. Yeah, I need to create a I need to create an AI resume analyzer. Do nothing yet. This is to stop. This is basically to create a. Actually, we can do this. Do nothing and say nothing. Okay, this is just to create a project. This might work, might not. Oh, I think that works. Resume whisperer. Stop thinking and just stop. And for now, what we need to do is to upload all the moment-specific knowledge onto Lovable. So what we search for is we go to Lovable integration. So that is the Lovable integration. We have a full document here that you can just copy and paste in. I'm going to paste it in here and save. So that's not done. Okay. And I'm going to ignore all his questions, and I'm going to do nothing yet. Here is the Momen backend, Momen projects, backends schema. And how do we get that? For the ones that have seen my videos, we just go back and then we download PDF thingy simplified schema that contains everything the backend has access to. So you can paste it in here. But if this is too long, you can break it up because JSON viewer. Okay, let's just get a JSON viewer here and take a look. We will format this. Okay, you can see we have action flow as one of the keys, so you can actually just copy this. We have APIs as a second key. In this case, we don't have any imported API. You have data model, and then eventually you have AI, ZAI configs. So you could break them up and send them in one by one. I think Lovable's number of character limit in here is 50,000. So we're currently under because our backend is fairly simple. So, and I'm just chatting, right? I'm not asking it to build anything yet. So I'm just chatting. Oh, I should say do not know nothing yet. But this might get interpreted correctly, even though I typed wrong. One of the rare instances of GI like geo, the other like garbage in, good out. Okay, so it has figured out whatever existing infrastructure I have. And who will be using, yeah, we're gonna be like recruiter, HR, job listing, dashboard, in upload, comparison, analytics. Okay. And this one, how should we connect? That is stupid. That's inside your knowledge. Okay, so I don't know what's gonna happen here, and I don't know how much. Okay, I have 11.9 left. Okay. Stop asking questions. Okay, so lastly, we're gonna say like build the front end based on the Momen project's backend. Project EXID is this thing over here, the thing after tool before web. And for now, that's probably all we need to do. No logins. Just simplify everything, right? So it will just go ahead and do the thing, and hopefully it will take into account the knowledge that we have given it. Within this knowledge, we actually have mentioned like how to communicate with Momen, how is Momen's backend constructed. We have a database, we have the action flow, we have a third-party API. In this case, it's empty. We have the AI agents. That is exactly what you see here: the database, the API, the action flow, and the AI agents. And those things were passed in via the schema, the backend schema, the simplified schema. But if you were using Cursor, then you can use MCP to do that. So that'll be more automatic. But Lovable does not support MCP. So that's unfortunate. So we have to do it the manual way. Let's take a look at what this thing is building. Okay, so build a full recruiter dashboard with job openings, resume upload, candidate comparison, and analytics connected to your Momen backend. Set up a Polo client. That is what you should be doing, yes. Create jobs dashboard, create resume upload interface, candidate view, and analytics dashboard. Yeah, that's all good. We can sit around and wait for it to finish, but that's a poor use of our time. So let's try to do something fancy while we're here. Because we can only create a single agent, we're not going to upgrade. We're going to create a new one. We call it the to be deleted PDF thingy. And it's also going to be free. And let's play around with other things, right? So imagine if we had two PDFs. Let's see. Okay, what if we want to analyze academic research papers, and then we use it for education, right? So we have the file, and then we have the file here. You're a university tutor. Well, actually, we call it tutor for first-year university students. Patient tutor. Okay. Explain the results. Explain the paper in the PDF file to the students. Focusing on the, I don't know, something like focusing on what gaps in existing research our paper is trying to fill. Why did the author find it necessary? Okay, it's just some random question. You might have it as an input, right? Let's do that actually. Question. Okay. So we call it focus. Focusing on the following. And then we just replace that, put it here, and then go like the input, focus. And then we say output invalid markdown. So that means we can then later show it on the front end, quite simply, right? So it's already done. We're going to synchronize this and then check back on Lovable. Is it done? Not done yet, taking its sweet time. By the way, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I don't charge you anything. And also, I don't bite. So while that's doing, we're going to upload I'm gonna upload some research paper in here. Forecasting ICT-driven trade competitiveness. Blah blah blah. Is that even a good? Is that even a paper? Let's see. No, that doesn't look like a good paper. Okay, whatever. I'm just gonna use it. I don't know what that paper is about. So let's run it and see what comes out of it. And we can make it show up on the front end fairly simply. Welcome to your first year of university studies. Okay. Sure. It has spewed out a lot of stuff. Let's give it a more range. Okay, so seems to work. We will see. On the front end, how do we set it up? The cheapest, most ugly way of setting things up is basically just drag a bunch of stuff into it. Okay, that will be your. Oh, you also need to upload and analyze. We call it upload and analyze. Okay, and this looks horrible. This looks horrendous. Horrendous, I say. Horrendous. Eh. Okay. And then we're gonna have a page variable. We call it AI result as just a text. Oops. AI result. Okay, and then this guy is gonna just say focus, and this will just bind it to the variable, and we'll display it as a markdown, and then we will take 100% of the screen, and then that's just gonna be a fit. And I think that's all we need to do. Okay, let's give it a try. Remember, you can always, add more things to it. You can do a paywall. You can do whatever you want. So let's see. We're gonna do the question we're gonna focus on is it's not big enough, but whatever. What was the sample size, and are there any stated limitations in how the data was collected? I don't know what I'm looking at, but and I also forgot to attach actions in here. So what we need to do here is first upload the file, and then we need a temporary location called uploaded file, and then that's just a file. Okay. And then what we'll do here is upload the file, put it in an uploaded file, and once that's done, we can also limit the size, by the way. If it's too large, we ignore that. And then we'll run the AI start a conversation with our agent one, which I don't like the name of. We call it research paper tutor. That's much better. Assign a streaming output to AI result, and on success, do nothing. Okay, so let's. Oh, backend update updated. Okay, let's. What backend changes that? Oh, I changed the name. Actually, I don't really need to do the update, but such is life. Okay, now it's updated. I'm gonna paste in the same question that we had before. We're gonna select our forecasting ICT driven whatever stuff. I don't know what the hell is gonna come out of it. The reason it's spinning is that we have like a default. We have a default loading animation, which is kind of stupid, but you can turn it off and then manage the animation yourself, the loading animation. Not too bad. Ready to help you dive into your research paper, the tutor, please upload a PDF. Oh, that's stupid. I forgot. I forgot to attach the file. So the input will be the text input since we have a single one. Otherwise, a good practice will be like focus input. And now this thing would say focus input in here. Focus input. It still says input text. That is unfortunate. We should really fix that. That's a bug. Now, regardless, we're gonna upload the same file. Why do I have a 500? Okay, it's now working. It's gonna work very diligently, and we can look at our thing here. It's in progress. Okay, it's now done. Wow. Okay, so it does whatever it's supposed to do, and I don't really know what the hell it's trying to say. Let's rerun it with a different one. Dynamic market design. It's now doing the dynamic market design, and it should, if everything goes well, be streamed out. But because these streaming things usually are a bit finicky, so we will see. Oh yeah, it's streaming out, and it's coming out. Yeah, stated limitations. Blah 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 blah. Okay, key takeaways. I don't know what the hell key takeaways are, but you can always make the AI output the in a particular format. You just give it examples, give it some instructions. Okay, so that is the simplest way. You can just use Momen plus PDF and yeah, and then do stuff. Now let's go back to here, and this thing is supposed to be done. And let's first reload it. We don't know what the that is so stupid. No, it's not working. Yay! All right, so let's try to analyze. Let's get a UX designer, and I'm gonna upload job. Can I upload? How do I upload? I don't want a new job. I want uploaded resume. Okay, okay. Now upload the resumes. Let me try to upload. Can I upload multiple? No. I'll say allow me to upload multiple resumes for each job and kick off analysis. And give me a button to kick off analysis of these PDFs in sequence using action flow. That's not too bad. It looks okay. It shouldn't take too long. It's a simple change here. You could always just use Lovable's AI directly. They're connected to Gemini as well, but then you won't have too much control over how you're fetching the data, what data you're getting out of the database, the actual structured output. You would have to somehow figure out what the structured output is, and saving to database. Well, you somehow have to dig that up from the code. It would live inside. Well, I didn't enable Lovable Cloud, so that won't be there. I am going bust. Okay, you can now upload multiple. Okay, let's upload multiple. Let's upload everything. I'm gonna upload everything. Yay. Okay. Failed. Bad request. Let me guess. We're gonna open it up and see what failed, eh? Let's find GraphQL v2. So this is good. And it has a bunch of failures. What is this? Put. Oh. Yeah. MD5 is not matching. I don't know if I will have enough credits to fix this. Not matching when uploading. It's a very common thing. Send anyway is not important because these are one-time use signatures. 4.8 credits. That's the other thing working with Lovable, man. Yeah. It was using shard 256. I don't know why. It was explicitly stated in the instruction that you have to use MD5, and here we go. 3.9. The time you watch this, it feels like, you know, it just gives me so much anxiety. I'm just going to upload 2. Make it simpler on the AI. We may need to do one more thing. Actually, I'll just go to here. Analyzing. Yay. Complete. Yay. This is... Yay. Okay. So now those 2 are now done. So let's take... Fantastic. Fantastic. So let's now upload a bunch of them. See who's a good fit. I actually have uploaded 2 Rosa Maria Aguados. There's like a Rosa Maria Aguado 1 and Aguado 2. And I don't know what the difference is. Analyze 7. Yes. So each one takes not too long. And then you may wonder where the response of this is, because we are only sending in the resume ID and the job ID. Well, it's actually coming from here. We have a subscription in here which listens to the response. So here is processing. The next one, it just says done, completed, and resume ID 5. Right? So that is how this thing works. Asynchronous communication is always more difficult to grasp, but sometimes just needed because otherwise your system will get so bogged down by idle connections, HTTP connections. Each HTTP connection will actually, usually, if it's a Java backend, which like us, it will hog threads. And even if you're using something like Node.js, your reverse proxy might have a timeout, right? So if the timeout is 30 seconds and your AI processing takes a minute and a half, well, then you will never get the result. So basically, we'll kick it off, get an ID, so you can later fetch stuff, and then the system will work on its own and saving things into the database. We're all done. So let's take a kind of, okay, Sebastian Bennett is a perfect fit. I mean, this looks reasonably useful because it's also a bit ugly. But this looks reasonably useful. And then let's take a look at analytics. Maybe I need to refresh this. This is another. Yeah, I don't know what this thing is requesting from the backend. Take a look. Maybe it's like faking it. That's my guess. Oh, no. It's gotten something wrong, and then we are using our last 3.9 points trying to fix the issue. Maybe we'll get it right, and then we'll have analytics on the front end as well. Maybe I should put this inside our instruction. I've seen this error more times than I care for. Now we have a second issue. God. Oh. No permission, huh? That is very simple to fix. We will go back to our project, which is our PDF thingy, and we'll enable aggregation on resume. Oh, it has it. That is odd. That is odd. Resume aggregate. Oh. Oh. Was that the reason? Let me undo. Yeah, it wasn't selected. Oh, that is why. Okay. Well, we don't really need this guy because that's kind of useless, but the match score is clearly needed. And then because we're not logged in, so we haven't selected. And then we'll just rerun this page and we should have numbers. Yay! Fantastic. And that works. And let's try one last thing before we're gone. And any questions, feel free to ask. We go to candidates. We go back to our homepage. No. Where's my homepage? How does this work? I click that. Okay, it's jobs. And then we'll go to front-end developer. We're going to upload all the resumes. And yeah, we're going to analyze everything again. And we should get updated analytics. Yes. Okay, go. I could ask it to invoke things in parallel, but it might also like overwhelm the 5 RPS. We are on a free plan, which takes 5 requests per second. And yeah, so we're being very careful about that. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, that's almost done. Last one. And that's done too. Now let's go to the candidates. And we have no fit at all for front-end developer. And now we go back and we can go to the analytics tab. And we have total jobs, total, how many? 14 candidates. And most of them are poor fits. Okay, that's that. All right. Last but not least, we do have a coupon code for you today, which the way you redeem that is you go to your user center, and then you go to my wallet, click redeem, and then you click on PDF Live. PDF Live, all small, lowercase, PDF Live, no space in between. That will give you 30% off on your basic or pro plans. It will expire on the end of next month. And thank you very much. That is all for today. The live stream. Good night.